When planning any sort of celebration or just relaxing, many people turn to their favorite bottle of wine, beer, liquor, whatever it might be, just to take the edge off. And so, drinking is something that is a privilege, a right that we gain when we're 21. Many people consider ourselves adults once we're 18. So, I'm even guilty of it. Here and then we'll have a drink when I'm at a party or when I'm hanging out with friends, whatever it might be. So today I want to tell you the dangers of drinking before you hit 21 and why you should hold off on it. I'll highlight reasons why you shouldn't do it because it can affect you right away or in the long run. So, firstly, a lot of us, have seen those cars that Mothers Against Drunk Driving brings on campus. They're outside, we see them and we're like, wow, that's pretty bad. But, that's all I've ever taken away from it is like, wow, that's pretty bad. You don't really see or hear anything else other than that unless you go to some sort of special event about it. But the truth of the matter is, I have actually had a friend die because of a drunk driving accident. She was the passenger while somebody was drunk and driving, and it was actually pretty sad because this was a while back, and this was right before her quinceañera, and so everyone was anticipating her big event, and only a week or two before the event, she was in a car with somebody who was drunk, and they ended up crashing into a light post and she died, same with the driver. So, it is something that is a danger. You see it around here and you're like, oh wow, that won't happen to me, but the truth of the matter is it can happen even if you're not the one who's driving. Another harmful thing that might happen, even if you don't die, is just if you get pulled over and you're underage, you can have your license suspended for a year, not to mention all these fees you would have to pay, legal fees. And I don't know, I have one friend who, I remember we went to a club and she was too drunk to get in, so she went back to her car just to chill. We all told her, go back to your car. But what we later found out is that she actually took off while she was waiting in her car, and same situation. She ran into a light post, so what do we hear? We were all concerned. We all drove separately, so we kind of were just like, whoa, where'd she go? We were trying to get in contact with her, nothing happened. The next morning, though, some of us got phone calls, that she had spent a night in jail. So she didn't die, but now she's paying legal fees, all these fees, and on top of that, she's having to do community service hours here and there, trying to find time, between school and work just to do community service for that thing that happened to her. And the National Institute of Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism actually records that 5,000 people under the age of 21 die as a result of alcohol abuse, and 1,900 of those deaths are the cause of auto accidents. Judge Karen Arnold-Berger, who's the author of Maintaining the Legal Age Drinking of 21 Curbs Underage Alcohol Abuse, states that younger drivers abstaining from driving while intoxicated are responsible for saving approximately 1,000 lives each year. So if you do happen to drink, just think about that and don't to take the wheel. I know I've had friends who are like, oh no, I'm fine, but I'm like, okay, you're fine, let's I'll have them at least stay there a couple of hours until I know they are fine. They think they're fine, but they're not. So not only can it have the effect of giving you a ticket, a hangover, it can be extremely dangerous. Recent studies show that the frontal lobes right here are actually still in development between adolescence to early adulthood, and those are the parts of your brain that are in charge of planning, organization, and emotional control. So those sections still being in development, we all know that any amount of drinking for almost any age, is going to cause some impairments, of your judgment. But that only increases for younger people. That can lead to increased behavior, any sorts of risky behavior. And just one of those things that, that it might lead to is over drinking. And this is actually the case of Gordy Bailey, who was an 18-year-old over at the University of Colorado. And so this was his freshman year in college, exciting. He's rushing a fraternity, and the pledges and him are all having to drink excessive amounts of alcohol. And so he knocks out from drinking so much, and it's later reported that, it was like the equivalent of 15 to 20 shots worth of liquor that he had. So they just kind of, put him off to the side. He'll be fine later. They had somebody go and check on him every now and then. But the morning after, when everybody was leaving that party, when they tried waking him up, they couldn't get him to wake up, and they called an ambulance, and he just died from drinking so much. And that's just one of the things that can happen if you drink at an early age, with that impairment. Again, the National Institute of Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism reports that 1,825 college students die every year from unintentional, reasons, injuries because of drinking. So the consumption of alcohol raises long-term effects. Also, it can promote alcoholism. So we all know that's a growing issue here in our country. But the truth of the matter is that alcoholism can be developed a lot sooner in younger people. So again, the Mayo Clinic staff states that binge drinking, which occurs when a teen or a younger adult, drinks 4 to 5 drinks in a row. And that kind of sounds familiar to some of us because that's what we do when we go to parties or whatever it might be. And Arnold Berger states that teens can develop alcoholism in as little as 6 to 8 months, where an adult, it would take them up to 5 years to develop a problem like that. So you guys see how scary that is. You might think you're not doing anything too bad, you're just having to drink here and there, but the reality of it is if you do that a lot, you can develop alcoholism in such a short period of time. And this is actually true with one of my friends, PK. And he's one of those buddies that I would drink with every now and then. And what do you know now, he's in AA because he realized that he did have a problem. Granted, it took a DUI to get him there, but now he's going to classes, and it's pretty great now, though. When you hang out with him, he'll, hold off on drinking, and that's really motivational. So it's good to see that. So now that you guys know these dangerous effects that come along with drinking, maybe you'll reconsider taking that extra drink of beer when you guys are playing beer pong, or taking that extra shot to outdrink your guys' friends.
That's not cool.
So Ruby, what did you think?
I really liked his introduction and his preview. It made it really clear what he was going to talk about. I liked how he shared his personal story to his friend that he lost before quinceañera. That made it, that was I think the attention grabber because it made it real, like what he was talking about. He was able to relate to it. He used good facts, and I like the hand gestures and the good eye contact. The only thing I would change is you tend to look at the floor a lot when you're talking. So I don't know if it's your gathering or not, but besides that, everything was really good.
Okay. I didn't notice the looking at the floor thing that much, so I guess I was looking at the right time. There's always a good timing issue on that. I think that you did a good job starting off. I like the examples that you had. You do a good job getting emotional involvement in the issue by talking about the personal experiences and relating it to your friends. I think you could probably stick in a few more of those statistics. I know that sometimes they are overused and there's a lot of information on these kinds of subjects, but you have to show people that this is really a generalizable issue. It's not just a unique situation or circumstance. Also, I think you might be able to get some testimony information, some testimony evidence on a couple of the examples. I'm thinking about that kid who died in Colorado, imagining how his family and friends felt. I think you could probably pull in some stuff on that and make that a little bit more searing than it actually ended up being in your presentation. Organizationally, I didn't have any obvious problems, but I also didn't feel like it was as easy to follow as it ought to be. It's mostly, like I said, following the examples, the danger risks and then the financial risks that you're taking on, and those are okay. It just feels like maybe it could use a little bit more structuring. I thought the presentation was really solid, though. I like the descriptive gestures. I didn't have any, like I said, I didn't notice that you were looking down that much. It all seemed fine to me. All right, thank you.